student agency promotes student independence and creates the proper environment for the students to take initiatives. When students are given the freedom to choose their projects, the quality of work and student pride soar. As teachers, initially, we should make sure that the students become aware of the opportunities, that they have opportunities to make a difference at school, in the local community and in the world. And then we should teach them how they can make a difference. eTwinning projects can effectively serve this purpose, particularly those projects where the pupils' participation in activities goes beyond implementation and extends to the preparation and planning of the activities. But let me explain a bit that. In eTwinners as pros, first the students are invited to express their views on student agency and suggest ways to achieve change. Then they are given choice and voice over the project topics, as well as the type of activities. They suggest activities based on their learning styles. I, the pupil, learn by reading, by using my hands, by moving around, by listening, by keeping notes. And the time that we spend in class to find out our students' interests and learning preferences is time well spent. It is not a waste of time because we can build on this information. We can design engaging activities using this information. The teachers fit the students' choices into the curriculum, and we act as facilitators and coaches to accommodate their ideas.
Nosotros, además de ser eTwinning School, somos una comunidad de aprendizaje. Entonces, el alumnado es un elemento fundamental porque se tiene en cuenta sus opiniones para todo lo que es la organización de nuestra vida escolar. Tanto las familias como el alumnado son tenidos en cuenta y participan en la vida, se puede decir, diaria de nuestro colegio.
I've been working in class using eTwinning for 18 years now, and I have come to the conclusion that the impact eTwinning projects have on pupils is enormous. Of course, significant results in students' development can't be seen overnight. It takes time and effort, and we, the teachers, need to be persistent on providing students with opportunities for eTwinning experiences, and we need to create opportunities to pass the floor to the students and let them do their magic. All eTwinning teachers know that children love working with gadgets and apps and devices and do digital tasks. We have noticed that through digital tasks, pupils take ownership of their own learning in a playful but secure environment, and they also feel accountable for the work.
Utilizamos distintas herramientas donde el alumnado puede votar, puede elegir y puede poner en común sus puntos de vista. También, como trabajamos con alumnado de distintas edades, pues el alumnado mayor ejerce funciones como de mentorización del alumnado más joven.
3 years ago, I started working with a group of third graders on a project called Our House in the Middle of Tech Wonders. And with the help of our German partners, the pupils co-created a virtual house using a digital platform. The next year, the same students worked on another eTwinning project entitled Street Stories, and there was still guidance from teachers, but not as much as in the previous year. The third school year, the same students were mature enough to take on action on their own, suggest all the project activities in terms of content and process, taking initiative, taking into consideration the work done or to be done. And I was really proud to see that the 80-year-olds have grown into eTwinners, both responsible and competent users of technology, ready to come up with solutions based on resources.
Cuando el alumnado empieza a trabajar con una metodología más activa, donde él es el centro de su aprendizaje, hay ese paso, en el que el alumnado se tiene que acostumbrar a trabajar de esta forma. Una vez que se ha dado el paso, pues hay que buscar proyectos que tengan alguna relación con su vida, que tengan un sentido en sí mismo.
The most common challenge that teachers may face when trying to involve pupils in decision-making processes or project activities is the students' reluctance to participate. Or another challenge is when their ideas lack vision, or on the other hand, when they use too much of their imagination, they end up with a list of solutions that cannot be implemented. As teachers, we need to be patient and persistent. We need to provide them with ample opportunities to take decisions and get used to decision making. We need to make sure that we never exclude our students from the designing process of the activities.
El secreto está en hacer que el alumnado participe, preguntarle cuáles son sus intereses, cuáles son los temas que ellos quieren trabajar y tener en cuenta esos intereses y luego repartir el trabajo de tal forma que cada uno haga una función que esté dentro de sus posibilidades.